In the 1980s, The Cosby Show didn't just redefine television, it sold America the dream of the perfect family. But when the cameras stopped rolling, the smiles faded, the secrets surfaced, and several lives quietly fell apart. By 2026, some are gone, some are broken, and one legacy collapsed so violently, it rewrote TV history forever. Bill Cosby as Cliff Huxtable. Born on July 12, 1937 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Bill Cosby was 47 years old when The Cosby Show premiered in 1984, assuming the role of Cliff Huxtable, the warm, wise, endlessly patient father America chose to trust. Cliff wasn't just a sitcom character, he was a national symbol. At the height of his power, Cosby was one of the richest and most influential figures in entertainment, celebrated as America's dad, a moral authority whose voice reached far beyond television. For years, his influence was absolute. The Cosby Show dominated ratings, reshaped how black families were portrayed on screen, and earned Cosby unprecedented control behind the scenes. His image was carefully constructed, disciplined, principled, untouchable. That image would not crack quietly. It would collapse. Beginning in 2014, decades-old allegations resurfaced and multiplied. Dozens of women accused Cosby of sexual assault, describing patterns of abuse hidden behind fame and power. In 2018, he was convicted and sentenced to prison. The fall was immediate and historic. Networks pulled reruns. Honors were revoked. The man once treated as a cultural guardian became a symbol of betrayal and systemic silence. Cosby was released from prison in 2021 after his conviction was overturned on procedural grounds, not exoneration. The legal ruling did nothing to repair the damage. Public trust was gone. His career was finished. By 2026, Bill Cosby lives quietly out of the public eye, legally free but permanently exiled from the industry he once dominated, while his legacy remains overshadowed and defined by the accusations that dismantled his career. Phylicia Rashad as Claire Huxtable. Phylicia Rashad was born on June 19, 1948, in Houston, Texas. She was 36 years old when The Cosby Show premiered in 1984, stepping into the role of Claire Huxtable, a poised attorney, devoted wife, and commanding mother who redefined what a black woman could be on American primetime television. After the series ended, Rashad avoided the trap of nostalgia. She rebuilt her career on stage, earning Tony Awards and critical acclaim, proving her talent extended far beyond television fame. For decades, her reputation remained nearly untouchable, professional, disciplined, and respected across generations. That image fractured in the late 2000s, when Bill Cosby's sexual assault convictions reignited public outrage. Rashad publicly defended her former co-star. The response was immediate and severe. What she framed as loyalty was interpreted by many as dismissal of victims. Institutions distanced themselves. Public trust eroded. Her legacy, once uncontested, became a subject of moral debate. By 2026, Phylicia Rashad remains active in the arts, her talent undisputed, but her public image permanently complicated. Malcolm-Jamal Warner as Theo Huxtable. Born on August 18, 1970, in Jersey City, New Jersey, Malcolm-Jamal Warner was just 14 years old when The Cosby Show premiered in 1984, stepping into the role of Theo Huxtable, the imperfect son in America's most idealized television family. Theo wasn't gifted or exceptional. He struggled, failed, doubted himself. As the series unfolded, Warner aged on screen in real time. Storylines about learning disabilities, pressure to succeed, and quiet insecurity gave Theo emotional depth rarely afforded to young male characters on sitcom television. Fame arrived early and stayed heavy. By the time the show ended, Warner was inseparable from the Huxtable legacy. Celebrated, yet confined by it. In adulthood, he chose endurance over reinvention. Warner worked steadily in television, music, directing, and voice acting, avoiding scandal and spectacle. But the shadow of Theo never fully lifted. While others burned out or disappeared, he carried his past carefully, known more for professionalism than stardom, respected but rarely free. His life ended abruptly. On July 20th, 2025, Malcolm-Jamal Warner died at the age of 54 while surfing with a group at Playa Cocles in Limon Province, Costa Rica. The suddenness of his death stunned fans who had watched him grow from a boy into a quietly grounded man, assuming time was still on his side. Keshia Knight Pulliam as Rudy Huxtable. Keshia Knight Pulliam, born on April 9, 1979, in Newark, New Jersey. She was only 5 years old when The Cosby Show premiered in 1984, instantly becoming Rudy Huxtable, the youngest child whose innocence, sharp wit, and wide-eyed warmth softened America's most idealized TV family. For 8 seasons, she grew up in front of the nation, frozen in memory as television's eternal little sister. When the series ended, Pulliam did what many child stars could not. She stepped away from the spotlight long enough to reclaim control. She earned a degree from Spelman College and returned to acting selectively, determined not to let Rudy define her entire adulthood. That sense of stability shattered in 2016. Pulliam's marriage to former NFL player Ed Hartwell collapsed publicly and violently. She accused him of infidelity and claimed he pressured her to terminate her pregnancy, allegations that ignited a brutal, highly public divorce. Court filings, DNA tests, media speculation, and social media judgment turned her private pain into public spectacle. At the center of it all, Pulliam fought to protect her unborn child while her image as America's former sweetheart was dissected without mercy. By 2026, Keshia Knight Pulliam lives a quieter, self-directed life, balancing selective acting roles, producing and raising her family, having reclaimed control from the chaos that once defined her early fame. Lisa Bonet as Denise Huxtable. Long before she became a symbol of rebellion, Lisa Bonet entered the world on November 16, 1967, and by the time The Cosby Show premiered in 1984, she was just 17 years old. Cast as Denise Huxtable, the unpredictable daughter whose curiosity, defiance, and emotional volatility shattered the illusion of the perfect sitcom child. As the show's popularity exploded, Denise became its most volatile element. Bonet's free-spirited presence, unconventional beauty, and refusal to conform made her a cultural lightning rod. But what audiences saw as authenticity clashed with the rigid moral image Bill Cosby demanded behind the scenes. When Bonet became pregnant and openly rejected creative control over her personal life, the consequences were swift. She was written out of The Cosby Show, her character exiled to a spin-off, and soon after, removed entirely. In the late 1980s, Bonet was effectively sidelined, labeled difficult in an era that punished young women for independence. Her brief return to the series could not undo the damage. Opportunities shrank. Momentum vanished. What had once felt like a meteoric rise dissolved into enforced silence. In adulthood, Bonet's life remained under constant public scrutiny. High-profile relationships, including her marriage to Lenny Kravitz and later to Jason Momoa, brought renewed attention but not career stability. While her influence on fashion and identity endured, her acting work remained sporadic, a reminder of how quickly Hollywood withdraws support once control is lost. By 2026, Lisa Bonet stands as one of The Cosby Show's most haunting legacies. Denise Huxtable lives on as a symbol of youthful freedom. The woman who played her paid the price for choosing autonomy in a system that demanded obedience and never fully forgave those who refused to comply. Jeffrey Owens as Elvin Thibodeau. Jeffrey Owens, born on March 18, 1961, was in his 20s when he joined The Cosby Show as Elvin Thibodeau, the kind-hearted, slightly awkward son-in-law whose quiet decency set him apart. During the show's golden years, Owens enjoyed the stability many actors only dream of. Regular paychecks, national recognition, and the security of a hit series created the illusion of permanence. But when The Cosby Show ended, that stability evaporated. Like countless television actors before him, Owens discovered that fame does not guarantee financial safety, especially once the cameras stop. The fall was not immediate, nor was it dramatic in the traditional sense. Roles became scarce. Income dried up. To survive, Owens took a job at a grocery store, working quietly until a photograph of him bagging groceries went viral in 2018. The internet reacted with shock, pity, and judgment, as if honest labor were a humiliation rather than necessity. The image traveled faster than his truth. Owens explained that acting work had never been steady and that dignity, not status, paid the bills. Fellow actors rallied behind him, offering public support and new opportunities. By 2026, Jeffrey Owens continues working steadily as a character actor while also teaching and advocating for dignity in labor, having transformed public humiliation into a quiet lesson about resilience, humility, and survival beyond fame. Earle Hyman as Russell Huxtable. Earle Hyman, born on October 11, 1926, and was already a seasoned stage and screen actor when The Cosby Show introduced him as Russell Huxtable, Claire's stern, disciplined father, a man whose presence carried weight before he ever raised his voice. Hyman's performance was brief but unforgettable. He didn't need many episodes to leave an impression. Russell Huxtable embodied the unspoken tension between tradition and progress, a reminder that even in America's most idealized TV family, approval was not guaranteed. The role fit Hyman perfectly. A classically trained actor whose gravitas came from decades of craft, not celebrity. Away from The Cosby Show, Hyman's career had already followed a different path. He was a respected Shakespearean actor, a pioneer on the American stage, and a celebrated voice artist, known to younger audiences as the voice of Panthro in Thundercats. As Hollywood shifted its focus, roles diminished, and recognition narrowed to fragments of a long, accomplished life. His final years unfolded quietly, far from the spotlight he once commanded. In 2017, Earle Hyman died at the Lillian Booth Actors Home in Englewood, New Jersey, a residence for retired performers. He was 91 years old. Tempestt Bledsoe as Vanessa Huxtable. Tempestt Bledsoe, born on August 1, 1973, was just 11 when the series premiered in 1984, stepping into the role of the middle daughter Vanessa Huxtable, too old to be coddled, too young to be taken seriously. Vanessa lived in the in-between, and that tension defined both the character and the actress who played her. Throughout the show's long run, Bledsoe grew up on camera, carrying storylines about rebellion, discipline, and the fear of disappointing parents. She was never positioned as the breakout star, yet her presence was constant, familiar, reliable, quietly human. As the spotlight shifted toward louder personalities, Vanessa became part of the background rhythm of the Huxtable household, visible but rarely celebrated. When the series ended, the fade began. There was no scandal, no collapse, no dramatic exit. Opportunities simply thinned. Occasional television appearances kept her name alive, but never enough to reframe her identity beyond Vanessa Huxtable. Nostalgia froze her image in the past, while the present offered few openings. Today, Tempestt Bledsoe's story stands as one of The Cosby Show's softest tragedies. Not ruined, not disgraced, simply left behind. Vanessa Huxtable remains endlessly replayed, while the actress who gave her voice learned that in Hollywood, fading away can be more painful than falling apart. Michelle Thomas as Justine Phillips. She entered television with the ease of someone destined to last. Michelle Thomas, born on September 23, 1968, was still in her early 20s when she appeared as Justine Phillips, Theo Huxtable's girlfriend, bringing warmth, intelligence, and a quiet confidence that made her feel like more than a passing love interest. In the mid-1990s, Thomas's momentum grew. Audiences embraced her charm, and roles followed, most notably as Myra Monkhouse on Family Matters, where her wit and emotional range made her a fan favorite. Unlike many young actresses, she wasn't boxed into innocence or attitude. Then the trajectory shattered. In 1997, Thomas was diagnosed with a rare and aggressive cancer. Treatments were brutal. Work stopped. The future she had just begun to touch slipped out of reach as her health deteriorated rapidly. There was no long decline in public view, no chance for farewell performances, only a sudden, devastating silence. On December 23, 1998, Michelle Thomas died at just 30 years old. Merlin Santana as Stanley. Merlin Santana was born on March 14, 1976, in New York City, stepped into The Cosby Show as Stanley, a minor role that hinted at a young actor with effortless charisma and emotional ease. Even in limited screen time, Santana stood out, signaling a future that seemed wide open. Through the 1990s, that promise began to materialize. Santana found steady work on television, most notably on The Steve Harvey Show, where his charm and timing earned him a devoted following. He was young, visible, and ascending, one of the few former child actors to transition smoothly into adult roles without scandal or self-destruction. His career felt stable, his trajectory hopeful. Then came the lie that ended everything. On November 9, 2002, Santana was shot and killed in Los Angeles at just 26 years old. The murder was orchestrated by 19-year-old Damian Andre Gates, acting under the direction of his girlfriend, Monique King. King had falsely accused Santana of sexual harassment, a claim later exposed as fabricated. Rage, manipulation, and youth collided, and Santana paid with his life. The trial revealed a chilling chain of decisions. Gates was convicted of first-degree murder. King was found guilty of conspiracy and second-degree murder. The courtroom details were brutal, but none could restore what was lost. A life extinguished not by accident or illness, but by a deliberate lie. The Cosby Show once taught America how to laugh, love, and believe in family. But time revealed something far darker. That perfection on screen often hides the deepest fractures behind it. Which story from The Cosby Show shocked you the most? Leave a comment below, and subscribe as we continue uncovering the truths Hollywood never wanted you to see.